Welcome back, everybody. Let's see. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. So, since it's the Vlogmas season, that means that you're gonna see me every single day. Okay. Today's vlog is going to be me discussing the 9 habits that I picked up here in the Philippines. Some of them are not naturally linked to the Filipino culture, and some of them are linked to Filipino culture. So these are the things that I'll be sharing with you guys today. If you're new here, my name is Abby and this is Waka-waka. I live here in the Philippines and I talk about my life here and just cultural stuff, things that are interesting, traveling, sightseeing, and just interesting stuff. Like and subscribe, okay? Right now. Yeah, do it right now. I just need to say that there's no how you can go to a place for a really long time, like 1 year, 6 months, even 3 months, depending on how accepting you are of the culture, that some characteristics, some habits of the people, might be the way they talk, it might be the way they smile here in the Philippines, that it would just rubs off on you. It's almost inevitable. Some people, when it comes to like other culture, it takes them like a week or so and they're like, oh my god, I love this place, it's amazing. But some people, it takes a while for them to really adjust to a particular culture, and I would categorize myself in the latter part of it taking a while for me to actually accept the culture. So when I came here, this is what I did. Okay, if I'm telling you that I came to the Philippines, I'm like, oh, mabuhay Philippines, I love the Philippines, like in the first week, then I am lying to you. And this was how I was able to maneuver my first few years, and what I did was basically to observe. Okay, it's not as if I wasn't really interested in the culture. I need to know what I'm getting myself into, so I just took a step back a little bit and just observe the people, observe the culture, observe what they like, what they eat, how they travel, how they dress, the way they talk, and all of that. So that was the first few months of my living here in the Philippines. Observation. I was also asking questions, like when I see something that looks strange to me, I'd always ask, what is this, what is that? So I was curious too, so that means I was also willing to learn. So what made me became more accepting of the Filipino culture was when I did Filipino history in school. That was my second semester while I was studying. So that was where when you get a history of something, then you can understand why people behave this way, why they smile this way, why they act this way, why they eat at midnight. After I took Filipino history, I got like 90% of my questions about the Philippines answered, and that was where I gradually started accepting the Filipino culture. But at first, out of respect to the people and the country, I just stood back and just observed and did what I was supposed to do every day. So that was what I did. The first thing that I actually welcomed into my life was rice. Okay, I know in my culturally shocking video I talked about how much Filipinos love rice, so it has just become a part of my life. I'm not saying I eat rice daily, but it feels like this important part of a meal nowadays. And especially when I go to a Filipino restaurant, if there is no mold of rice waiting for me, it doesn't feel like the meal is complete. So that was the first habit that I picked up in the Philippines: excessive eating of rice. For my second habit, that would be adventures. Before coming to the Philippines, back home in Nigeria, I was just a normal girl, but I loved traveling. So back home, the tourism industry is not up to what it is here in the Philippines. And aside from that, I've just enjoyed traveling from state to state, and I've always loved the idea of seeing new things. So when I came to the Philippines, traveling just became another passion that was birthed in the Philippines. So because of the way the Philippines is designed, because of its location, because of the amazing beaches and the mountains, and just everything that you can find here, it just makes it easy for you to travel by bus, to travel by airplane if you can, to travel by carabao if you can. So that really, just living here in the Philippines, just motivated me to just seek out more, to just travel and experience different things. So adventures. Number 3, napping. Okay, in Nigeria I rarely took a nap, but here in the Philippines, like, I am a professional napper. It's like I guess I became a professional napper. I remember one day I was in a taxi, and on the way I saw like this guy. He was sleeping like in the middle of the street, not in the middle of the street, like like the divider, the street divider where you have the street lights. He was sleeping there. He was literally napping, and I literally look at the guy. I was like, you know what, I totally understand you. Like, just sleep on, man. Like, so napping for me is another habit that I picked up here in the Philippines. The fourth one would be sneakers. Okay, I'm not just talking about my shoe size here, but I don't think there are any sneaker store that you cannot find in the Philippines. So I picked that habit up. It started from me looking for my shoe size, and then I just fell in love with buying sneakers. So that's that one. Fifth habit that I picked up here in the Philippines would be smiles. Okay, am I smiling right now? Yeah, I am. So Filipinos are known for their warmth. They are known for their friendliness, and the next thing is smiles. They would smile at you. I'm always saying this, it's transference, right? When someone smiles at you, you have to smile back. So that is one other habit that I pick up here in the Philippines. Smiling. It's nice though. It's, you know, makes you look beautiful. The next habit that I picked up would be patience. Yes. So again, I'm gonna refer back home and then refer back to the Philippines. Patience in the sense that Nigeria is this country that is like, you know, it's like, I'm not saying we're there's like technological advance or whatever that is making people really fast. The people are just restless and just always on their feet. They are energetic. They are like, you know, very always lots of energy basically. So when I came here to the Philippines, I was like, wait, I felt like everything was in slow motion. It got to a time when in my first few months, I was like this. I was like, so I'm waiting in the line, like, oh, I'm like, because everything was really slow. After living here for this long, it's like, okay, take your time, no problem. So I just kind of like cooled down. So that's for patience, like just, you know, just relaxing and just let life be. And for the next one, Filipino time. Yes. I am not proud of this one, but back home there's what we call African time, but then Filipino time is more than African time. But I am always trying my best to always show up on time. I do not want to waste anybody's time. There've always been circumstances where I couldn't help the situation and I had to show up late. So, but sometimes you cannot fight against it. You just cannot fight against it. It's like, and I learned this from my Filipino friends. They're like, oh, let's hang out, and like, where are you? 1 hour, I'm still freaking here. When they tell you let's hang out, you come around 3 hours later. Yeah. Then the last one would be cutting chilies with scissors. This one my Filipino friend taught me. So when I'm cutting chili, that's what you guys call it here. We call it pepper back home, pepper. So you put it on the board and then you use a knife to cut it. The downside to that is that after a while, let's say you did not wash your hand properly and then you put that hand around your eye, then it starts to hurt, and you know, it's really bad. I was hanging out with my friend and then we came back like, you know, 2 a.m. and we're cooking in my apartment. We're making noodles. So I was like, oh, you cut the chili while I do the dishes. And then she asked me for a scissors. So I was like, okay, here's a paper scissors. And then she started cutting it. So that was where I learned how to cut chilies with pepper. So these are some of the habits that I picked up here in the Philippines. What do you guys think about it? Thank you guys for watching and see you in my next vlog. Bye.